Ahoy, mateys. Welcome aboard my podcast. I am Jason with Jay's Paradise Travels. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience in St. Thomas. This is a continuation of me talking about a cruise that I recently did on Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas. One of the stops on that itinerary was St. Thomas. Before I get into that, though, I want to do a little housekeeping and get that out of the way. If you would like to go on vacation, specifically a cruise, which is my specialty, perhaps you'd like to go to St. Thomas as well. Take a look for it yourself, see it with your own eyes. You can reach out to me in a couple different ways, one of which is through social media. I have an Instagram and Facebook account, and both of them are the same handle, Jay's Paradise Travels. That's Jays. There's no apostrophe in there. Jay's Paradise Travels. You can message me through Instagram or Facebook. Or if you don't want to deal with social media, you can just directly email me. My email account is j.paradise.travels@gmail.com. Once again, that is j.paradise.travels@gmail.com. Feel free to send me an email and we can talk that way as well. All right, housekeeping's out of the way. Let me go ahead and tell you about my experience visiting St. Thomas. As I mentioned, we were on Royal Caribbean's Star of the Seas. I was very excited to go on this ship, and I was excited to go to St. Thomas because I hadn't been there in a very long time. I had gone many years ago. I want to say I was either like 18 or 20, something like that. It was far back, one of my first ever cruises, really. Didn't have a whole lot of recollection towards it, just the fact that I know that I went. Last year, we went to St. Croix, another one of the U.S. Virgin Islands. I have a podcast on that. Feel free to check it out. We were on Virgin at the time. This time we were on Royal Caribbean. And when I was looking at the itinerary and looking where to go, this itinerary included both St. Thomas and St. Martin, two places that I had been to in the past, but um, I hadn't gone in a very long time. And it also went to Coco Key. Check out those podcasts as well. Anyways, so yeah, we went to St. Thomas. And when going to St. Thomas, it was interesting that we had a friend that was with us, or was supposed to be with us, I guess you could say. He was going to be rooming with my father, so it was obviously me and Selena in our room. My dad, he was rooming with one of our friends, and our friend is handicapped and walks with a walker, and can't really get around too well, so he needed an electric scooter or wheelchair or something. And unfortunately, our friend, his flight, he decided to try to fly in the day of the cruise, which uh, he regrets doing it now. But sometimes that can work out. A lot of times it can work out, but sometimes things can happen. In this particular case, he it was delayed because of weather. We had bad weather in Detroit that it was leaving on a Sunday, and his flight just got delayed. And at the very end, he missed the ship when he flew in. So after going back and forth with Royal Caribbean, and it took him a little while, they finally were able to put him up in a hotel and a couple of days later fly him out to St. Thomas to be able to meet up with the ship. Um, the hotel he stayed at wasn't too great when it came to ADA accessibility. They don't have quite the standards as we do here in the States when it comes to ADA. He was able to get through it. I felt bad for him because he had sent his luggage ahead of time. Um, the luggage was in the room, and it was going to be a few days until he got it. Anyways, felt bad for him, but St. Thomas is where eventually he came back with us, I guess you could say. And before we went on the cruise, when I was talking to him, when I asked him if he had any desire to go out and do excursions or anything, not really, because just it would be hard for him mobility wise. That's understandable. But as I was looking through the app and I was looking through the different excursions that were offered, I did come across an accessible island tour for St. Thomas. And I thought that maybe he might be interested in that because it's geared towards those that have that are handicapped. So I sent it to him. Just hey, this is something I found. Might be interested. Would this be something you might be interested in going in? And he responded back, yeah, that looks nice. I'd like to do that. I was like, okay, cool. We'll go with you too. Um, so we booked it for all four of us, him, my dad, me, and Selena. And he was going to be a part of that. Well, he wasn't on the ship. And so we get into St. Thomas, and we get into St. Thomas a little bit more in the afternoon. We had left Coco Key on Monday, at sea on Tuesday. We were getting into St. Thomas on Wednesday afternoon, not in the morning, but in the afternoon. And our tour was in the afternoon as well. We were hoping that maybe since he was already being flown into St. Thomas, he could come with us and get on the ship and come with us on that. And that could have all worked out, but they did not have the scooter that he needed in order to get out with us. They He had ordered one, but wasn't there to claim it at the beginning, and I guess they must have rented it out or had somebody else use it. So he didn't have the ability to get out, and he couldn't walk with the scooter, and they didn't have like a wheelchair or anything for him. So even though uh, we were on this tour that was geared for accessible people, me, Selena, and my dad were on it, and the one accessible needed person wasn't there with us, unfortunately. Um, but we ended up going on the tour regardless. And eventually, when we got back, we did see him. He was there and didn't have his scooter. He ended up getting one the next day in St. Martin, which was good. For that day, he didn't have one. But we were at least just happy to have him back with us because it had been a few days, wasn't the same without him. So we're glad that he got back and now he could enjoy his cruise and he can enjoy uh, his vacation, not have to worry about things that he was worrying about before. So, and then we left St. Thomas in the evening time. I want to say we got in around 1, something like that, and then left later on around 7. By that time, um, cruise ships had gone. We were kind of there late. Not much was quite else was going on. And we were docked next to Celebrity Excel, which Celebrity is Royal Caribbean's sister company. Um, and I want to say did we leave before them? They left before us, one of the two. But anyways, we left later to move on to St. Martin. But anyways, that was kind of the experience. So let me talk about the tour itself. Nice tour. So St. Thomas, another beautiful Caribbean island, as I mentioned. Last year we went to St. Croix. We were able to do an island tour. We're kind of into that, I guess you could say. Not humongous beach people, although they have beaches, and I think they have Megan's Bay. I can't remember if Megan's Bay is in St. Thomas or St. Martin, but whatever. Anyways, they've got beautiful beaches, and if you love the beach and you like to get in the water, you are going to be in heaven because they are gorgeous beaches, and no doubt for those that do like to be in it, those are probably wonderful beaches to be a part of. I'm not a really big of a beach guy. I love looking at a beach, but I'm not one to get into the water. I don't care for sand or the feel of it. Not my cup of tea. But I looking at it. So an island tour and to be able to go around and take pictures, that's more my speed too. And that's what we got to do. And when we got out, we had to meet outside of the cruise ship at a certain time. And when we got there, I saw a bunch of people leaving, so I ran up. I thought because we were kind of cutting it close. I asked if that was the same group, but no, it was a different group. And then I turn around, there's my dad. He's in the other one, and it was a lot smaller group. So I want to say probably we had a dozen ish people, and I think you could the bus could hold maybe like up to 20, but it had a lift to be able to host anyone that might be in a wheelchair or scooter. In fact, there was one gentleman that we sat to, real nice guy. He had a stroke some years ago, so he had limited mobility, and I can't remember if he was the one that did or there's someone else, but someone else did was in like either a scooter or wheelchair, and they had to be lifted up from it. So that bus was able to handle that, and that's why I made it accessible. Most buses aren't like that, but in this particular case, they had that. So if you are someone that is in need of like an accessible type of tour, this would be a good one for you if you have limited mobility. Anyway, so I saw my dad there. We're in line. There's a small handful of us, like I said, a dozen ish or something like that. And our tour guide takes us out. Actually, it was a lady at first. Took us out to where our driver and tour guide, his name was Shane, was at. And I appreciated from the get go that he was just open and honest with us about you know knowledge and information, and he would tell a few jokes. But he was open and honest with the fact that he knew he had a little bit of an accent and might be a little harder to understand him at times. And he'll try not to talk too fast. So I appreciated it about him, and he did a really good job. Really appreciated uh, him giving the tour that day. We left there where we were docked. There was I noticed further down in another places there was other ships docked too. I believe they were Norwegian, if I remember correctly. I think the one that we were docked in was kind of a little bit on the newer side, um, and I wasn't recalling it. It didn't look familiar. A lot of times I can something might look familiar to me. I might forget facts or names or phone numbers or and maybe as you've listened to me do this podcast, you'll hear me say something like I think that was it or that might be the name. I'm not always great at remembering facts or names or numbers or something like that, but I can remember places and faces and things like that. Um, so even though that was a long time ago, I didn't I would have probably recalled something. Well, if I had been there before and we were at the other port, that's probably why. We leave that area and we start going through town a little bit. We went around the airport. I think that was the same airport my friend flew into. It wasn't huge. We went around the airport. I saw a Sherwin-Williams. I pointed that out to my dad because he's a painter. Uh, and I was like, hey, Dad, get some paint over there. And I think he uses Sherwin-Williams pretty much exclusively. And he said he didn't see it, but he'd seen it before because he'd been to St. Thomas before. And we start going up the hill, kind of a little bit more narrow, but our driver did a good job navigating through that. And as we're just going up, you can kind of, see different vantage points. At certain points here and there, he would stop. We could get out. I don't think many of us did. I know I did. My dad did. Maybe a couple others would get out and take some pictures. As you could just look around and see the beautiful island and different beach scenes and different islands that are around that island. Um, just gorgeous scenery, and I love that type of stuff. We went above the airport too, and at one point I didn't I got pictures of the airport itself, but I didn't get pictures of this. I saw an airplane takeoff, which I enjoy doing. But most of the time, whenever I see an airplane take off, I'm on the ground and I just see the thing go up and above my head. This was the first time I'm watching from above, looking at it go up and coming towards my elevation, and then further. I didn't get a picture of it, but it was just kind of a cool experience to be able to see an airplane take off as I'm above it. I'm sure that's maybe what people who work in like the towers at airports, air traffic control, they probably get that type of vantage point when they see it. And I think it's kind of cool. So we saw that, continued moving on. We continued to see other nice, beautiful scenery all around the island. And we were able to stop at this one spot. I don't remember if it had a name or not, but what it was, I mean, there were souvenirs, and I remember the driver kept saying, "You will see souvenirs, 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 and more souvenirs." He kept saying that, which I kind of found funny. And sure enough, yeah, there was a humongous building full of souvenirs. As we pulled up, there was this thing in the middle where it had like this, uh, I think it's rum, Cruzan rum, and a bunch of some statues of pirates. Um, they had that, and then that was kind of in the middle. And then in the building, as I mentioned, they had a ton of shirts and keychains, all that type of stuff. There was an ice cream place right outside of it, and then inside, if you went towards the back, there was a bar, and they had banana daiquiris, which I guess that's kind of what they're known for a little bit is banana daiquiris. I asked Selena; she wasn't a humongous fan of the thought of banana flavored, and I was just, I guess I could have gone either way, so I just decided not to. And now I'm like, yeah, maybe I should have tried one. Oh well, I think Selena she got a Gatorade just because she wasn't feeling good for a couple days and she just wanted the electrolytes. So I got her a Gatorade and then some uh, what else? Rum, not rum, but rum. What do you call it? Rum cake? Yeah, a little bit of rum cake. So that was the extent of what I bought. And then, but outside of that, there was like a patio porch, whatever you want to call it, and it's higher up, so on the elevation. So we got to go out there, look around, take some pictures, and of course you got the water and the hillside and the trees. It just a beautiful view, and I really appreciate that. And then from there we left and continued moving on. And as we continued moving on again, we just you stopped at different places and got to see other nice viewpoints. The whole island, if you look around, I don't think there's a bad view anywhere at all. And if you go higher up in the elevation, you're just going to be able to see more of the view. And uh, I don't know if that is your type of thing. Again, you might be kind of a beach person more so. Um, I guess, and when I was younger, I might not have appreciated as much, but as I've gotten older, now I appreciate being able to go see beautiful scenery, um, and be able to take tours that way. We did drive by one building. I want to say it was like, what did he say? It was like maybe one of the first governmental buildings on the island or something to that effect. There was a little bit of history with it. I don't remember it all. Again, I'm not great at remembering facts and names and stuff like that. Um, and also too, I always think about this. I'll let even if I did remember everything, I wouldn't say it all because I want to leave that up to the tour guides. Let me book it for you and get you on one of these tours and on vacation, and I'll let the professionals do it. Out of respect for them, I don't want to give it all away. Even if I did, I don't remember it all, but even if I did remember it all, I'll let them do it. Anyway, so he gave a real nice tour and got a lot of history about St. Thomas and a lot of facts about it, the local people and the local government and the local flora and fauna and all that stuff. And so I enjoyed it. So it lasted, I want to say maybe a couple hours. And then we got back to the ship. He dropped us all off. Appreciated that. And there were some shops around there that we decided instead of just getting right back on the ship, let's go ahead and just kind of take a look around. Um, ended up my dad, I know he went and bought something. What did he get? What did he get? A shirt or he got a? Oh no, he got a magnet. He loves collecting magnets and putting it on his fridge. And so I wanted to get a picture. They had a windmill there, and there was I guess it was called Crown Base Center, and there was a windmill there. I wanted to get a picture of that. I was able to. And then from there, again, we just walked around, saw the different shops. They had different vendors there selling all kinds of things, and it was right by the water, kind of pretty, nice little walk. And they had, I think you could probably get, I was seeing if they had a banana daiquiri. I didn't see it, but I saw some other like icy or slushy or something to that effect that some kids were drinking. I don't know if they had any daiquiri. I look back on it, I think, I guess I could have tried it. Oh well, I mean, not the end of the world. But if you do go to St. Thomas, if you allow me to book it for you, then try banana daiquiri, see what you think, and let me know if you liked it. And then after that, after we kind of shopped around a little bit. Again, this was getting on a little bit later on the day. Um, Cruise ships kind of go from morning to afternoon, so we were in afternoon to evening. So a lot of stuff was already kind of closing up and um, dying down, I guess you could say. There wasn't a whole lot going on, so we ended up going back on the ship and spending the rest of the day on there. It was a nice time in St. Thomas, and I really enjoyed it. That was the one excursion that we had booked prior. We ended up doing a similar thing on St. Martin, and feel free to check out that podcast as I talk about that. And we ended up on Coco Key doing some zip lining that we hadn't planned. Both of those things were planned like when we got on the island, we did them. But this was actually planned ahead of time. And again, when I saw that it was an accessible tour, something that my friend could take advantage of who has limited mobility, and when I asked if this would interest him, he said yes. We did it, so we could do it all together. And then sadly, he wasn't with us to do it. But I'm glad that he did eventually get back with us that day. Nice time in St. Thomas, and perhaps if you would like to go there, if this sounds interesting to you, like to go see it for yourself, see it with your own eyes, let me know. Again, you can reach out to me through social media at Jay's Paradise Travels. That's either on Instagram or Facebook. JAYS, no apostrophe in there. Jay's Paradise Travels. You can reach out to me, or you can send me an email at j.paradise_travels@gmail.com. jay.paradise_travels@gmail.com. Feel free to email me. There's also in the description, if you're watching this on YouTube, down in the description below, you'll see links to a lot of different things. One of them is my calendar, which you can click on that and book an appointment with me. From there, we can talk either on the phone or Zoom. That's one way of being able to get a hold of me as well, or be able to go on my website, and there's a way to fill out a form to be able to reach out to me that way as well. So you got some options, whatever's convenient for you. And on those social media, you'll see some pictures of it as well. Feel free to take a look at that. And feel free to subscribe to the channel here and follow me on those platforms as well. All the social media, all those interactions, it all helps boost the numbers, which I'm trying to do. Try to boost the numbers, try to get my name out there. I want to be yours, your family, your friends, everyone's travel agent. Make this planet and this world one a happier place, one vacation at a time. So feel free to do all that. If you enjoy the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, share it with others. All those good things helps keep podcasters going, and for myself, trying to run a business with it helps out with that as well. So definitely appreciate that. I hope you liked this video. Hope you learned something from it, took something away from it. And if you did, again, subscribe, reach out to me. Be happy to help you out. All right. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you later. Take care. Bye bye.